Here's Jeff Paterson, our Canucks reporter, the host of RinkWide Vancouver. They were busy yesterday unpacking a 2-1 Nashville Predators victory over the Canucks in the final game of this 5-game road trip. Jeff, how did you sleep?
During the game or after it? I think we have to be clear about this thing. Don't oversell it and say we were busy last night. Yes, we did rink-wide, but hey, they can't all be classics, and that one certainly was not. Unfortunately, they all count the same, and in some ways it underscores the importance. That was such a gettable game there against a Nashville team that does nothing, can't score, wasn't playing well, had lost 4 in a row. And it was there for the Vancouver Canucks, and unfortunately for them, power play let them down more than anything. But bottom line is, didn't do enough to get the job done, and now kind of limp home and run the gauntlet here. I mean, they're running into a couple of beasts that can score at will on the weekend, so kind of curious to see how they respond against Montreal and Edmonton.
Let me rephrase. Jeff and Irf were occupied yesterday.
They were working. Yes.
Check the work logs. We were there. We punched in.
No, exactly. The key cards worked, and yeah.
What do you think Thatcher Demko's thinking right now? He's been great. 927 save percentage, spectacular. Letting in maximum 2 goals per night. But do you think he's feeling like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders? Because he is going to be everything, it appears.
My initial sort of sense to your question is he's probably thinking, so this is how Dustin Wolf feels. Okay.
Yeah.
Goalies can only do so much, and they can only be expected to do so much. And he has held up his end of the bargain. And again, another night there where the winning goal creeps across the goal line, and that had to be excruciating for him in real time and slow motion. It got across. That's all it has to do. But otherwise, he made some key stops and at different points in the game when it was scoreless and gave them a chance to open the scoring. And then when they were down, prevented Nashville from extending. Not that Nashville looked all that serious about extending. Nashville was ecstatic to be up 2-1. Come on. Who am I kidding? Thinking they were going to extend their lead or even try. But we've documented Demko's role in the leadership group here. And you probably saw the comments of Dustin Wolf after the loss to Montreal the other night, where he said, I can only do so much. And I think Demko probably could read from that script right now that he's doing his part, but he also has to understand that this is going to be an offensively challenged team. 5 of the 8 games so far, they've been held to 2 or fewer. It's a difficult league to win, especially, guys, on a night, my goodness, when you look around the National Hockey League, like how did we all get the Canucks and the Predators to cover on a night that that was crazy around the National Hockey League. The goals that were scored and the storylines abound, and yet we're here drilling down deep on a 2-1 hockey game in Music City.
Jeff, has Max Sassin been the Vancouver Canucks' best center through 8 games?
You could make the argument, certainly, and of course he hasn't even played all 8, and that is credit to him. He scored 3 goals in 29 games. Last year in the National Hockey League, he's got 3 in the 5 games that he has played, and of course didn't make the team out of camp and went down to Abbotsford. And I love the approach there. That opening weekend for Abbotsford, it was like, I'm going to be the man. I'm going to force them at some point here to give me the opportunity that I'm looking for. It happened early, and he hasn't looked back. And right now he has cemented his spot in this lineup, and we'll see what happens when Teddy Bluger gets back. I would think it's as simple as Bluger in and Amon comes out. But the way Max Sassin's going right now, and for him to get an opportunity higher in the lineup, and I know his goal didn't come with the line mates he started the game with, Brock Besser and Jake DeBrusk, but he's scoring when other guys aren't. So good on Max Sassin, and 2 of those 3 goals have come with the wheels that we have talked about since he arrived on the scene. And so they need more of that, and I don't imagine that he's going to slow down anytime. The goal scoring, well, I think he's got 3 goals on 6 shots. So he's not going to be a 50% shooter all season, but there's nothing stopping him from using his God-given assets of NHL speed, and he's doing a nice job of that and applying it in the games that he's getting right now.
I'm getting worried about Quinn, Jeff. He looks less engaged than I can remember on the ice, and he looks more frustrated both on and off. What's your temperature check on the captain here through 8?
Yeah, it's not going great for him individually, and he probably has to remind himself that the team is 4-4 through 8 games, and that all is not lost here in the early going. But I can understand the frustration, the way this road trip unfolded, to get off to the nice start as a team, spread the scoring, get those 3 wins. But such a wild road trip, really. you can split it almost right down the middle, the midway mark of that Washington game when they were up 4-0. And from that point on, they've been outscored 10-2. It just hasn't been happening for the power play. It hasn't been happening at even strength. Certainly, Quinn Hughes has not been able to deliver the way that we're so accustomed to seeing it. So is this a blip? Is this the National Hockey League taking a page out of the National Preds? Remember in the playoffs, like the Preds did a really nice job of making life miserable for Quinn Hughes. And I'm just starting to think that this is part of the star treatment that you get in the National Hockey League. And why wouldn't you? If you're playing the Canucks, 43 should be circled on your whiteboard before every game. And so I am wondering if teams are starting to play him a little differently, play him a little tougher, take away his space and try and make him use his teammates to drive the Canucks' success here. So it's only 8 games. It's hard to get a full sample on exactly what's going on around him. But the bottom line is, body language. And this isn't just last night with him slamming the stick and post-game. Boy, I mean, the remarks post-game, total loss for answers. Didn't look like he wanted to provide any sort of insight on what had gone on here in these last couple of games. And this is part of his role as a captain, that even through the dark times, like, you have to elevate your performance on and off the ice. And so it's not happening for Quinn. He's got company. We've spent how much time talking about Elias Pettersson and his struggles in the early going, but it goes way deeper than that too. Jake DeBrusk with just the 1 goal through 8 games, and of course Evander Kane doesn't have one yet. And it's not all about goals, but goals are a part of it. And you need goals to win hockey games. But to come right back, this doesn't look like the Quinn Hughes that we're used to seeing, and so I hope he can get it together.
The forward set is not a great group to feed, and that's what he's about, right? He doesn't score 30 goals. He's about feeding other guys, and that's got to be a part of the equation. But I also just see fanned passes, shots that seem to be limited more to him than to his teammates, and he's got the puck on his stick, so there's just more at-bats there. But I don't know if that's lack of focus. Is that just bad ice? I don't know, but does not seem like the Wizard.
No, and part of them being away from home as much as they have with 6 of the first 8 is that I'm just not around the rink. I'm not around the team. Yeah. To know, is he getting treatment after games? Is he already battling through something? Is there a carryover from the many issues and ailments that he had to deal with last year? Of course, it's an Olympic year, and he missed the 4 Nations, so you know that he wants to be in peak form here. And this isn't about Quinn Hughes being in any danger of losing his spot on Team USA, but it is about him working his way back up to being this elite player, one of the best in the National Hockey League. And we're just not seeing it, for the points to come. So much of that could be corrected with a power play, right? And last night was inexcusable. They had the 2 early power plays, didn't generate a shot on goal. They ended up with 8.5 minutes of power play time, just 4 shots on goal. That included 90 seconds of 5-on-3. And why is it that some teams can make 5-on-3 just look so easy? Zip it around, bam, back of the net. And it just looked like the puck weighed 15 pounds as the Canucks were trying to shovel it from teammate to teammate and offload it. And
passes behind each other, like it is nothing crisp.
Yeah. And so, like, the buck stocks with Adam Foote, he's the head coach, but Scott Young and Brett McLean both think the game offensively, have both been scorers at different levels. They're in charge of the power play, and this is a power play that's a 14%. We know the Canucks are not going to be an offensive juggernaut on the whole. So in tight games, you come right back to a power play that gets 5 opportunities and does squat with it. Again, there's no excuses for that. It just simply has to get better. And the other part there is, guys, yes, there were injuries to this lineup, not to power play 1. That is as good as the Vancouver Canucks can formulate a power play group right now. Those are their 5 best players, and they just did nothing, absolutely nothing with the opportunities in a game that was begging for a power play goal.
This has been the Elias Pettersson and Power Play Progress Report presented by Pizza Pizza. You wanted to throw a sponsor on that. I figured the alliteration, all the P's.
Yes, it is there. Is there progress? Do you still see progress from EP40?
Oh, my goodness. We just came through the Royal Commission on Elias Pettersson's ice time here over 48 hours. And to Adam Foote's credit, he had to know the question was coming. I don't know if he knew who was going to ask it. And so I believe it was a Nashville reporter Foot came armed with data and examples, and I bought some of what he was selling, but not all of it. And last night was a strange night because of so much power play time, and he got EP40 up over 20 minutes. So that wasn't the issue for me. But lost in all of this, guys, is the Canucks' leading goal scorer from last year, Jake DeBrusk. Remember him? He is 10th on this team in even strength ice time through 8 games behind Drew O'Connor. So somebody make some sense of that, and that's a question that'll have to be put to the coach here at some point as well. Now, DeBrusk not holding up his end of the bargain either with just the one goal and a power play goal at that. But progress for EP40, when you have 8.5 minutes of power play time and he doesn't have a single shot on goal in those minutes, his only shot on goal came in the third period at even strength. So it came late in the hockey game. It wasn't terribly dangerous. And again, I'm sort of losing my patience in trying to pick out a back check here or anticipation of a defensive read there and get too worked up about it. I mean, that has to be part of the package when you're getting paid what he's getting paid. So, I was just looking at this. He's got 11 shots through 8 games. How is that ever going to make any sense? All this talk, he's said it. We've all talked about it. Fan base till it's blue in the face about this guy's got to shoot more. And 8 games into the season, it's 11 shots on goal. Even 3 years ago, he had 23 shots through his first 11 games. Like the NHL leaders right now, there are guys in the high 30s in shots on goal in the first couple of weeks, and Elias Pettersson's at 11. And some of that is Quinn Hughes. Puck runs through him. PD, I don't think is the same player that he was 3 years ago. As Quinn has ascended, it's become his team. But that's a dynamic that they're all going to have to figure out here, and they've got to make it work. This is the group that they've got. Those are their best players. But yeah, I just wanted to see how much more was he shooting the puck even 3 years ago? And the answer is basically twice as much. And here we are, 8 games in, 11 shots, and just the 1 goal to show for it. So at some point, I want to see Pettersson get a little more selfish and start firing the puck. And until that happens, I think it's going to be a point here and a point there, and probably a win here and a win there for the Vancouver Canucks.
How much longer before people are just saying they made a mistake on trading Miller and keeping Paterson?
Oh, I mean, I think some people are already there. Certainly, I see that enough in social spaces, but you can't go back in time. Their decision is done. If they admitted so, would that make people feel better? It doesn't help them moving forward at this stage. So it really is about trying to get the best out of the guys that they've got. And it's not just Elias Pettersson. It does go deeper than that. And so I think through 8 games, this has kind of been the whole Vancouver Canuck experience, and I think we better brace for a lot more of it, right? The euphoria of the big third period on opening night, followed by 2 subpar performances, and then the angst that came with that, and then they go out on the road. People weren't giving them a chance, and they win 3 in a row, and now they come home with their tails between their legs after getting beaten and not scoring many goals. So 4-4, they could easily be 3-5. I have trouble making an argument that they could be 5-3, although a game like last night was there for the taking, I suppose. Through it all, 4-4, when they haven't played consecutive games in the same city yet, 6 of 8 on the road. The injuries, 4-4 is not terrible.
That's it.
But we also know that 4-4 and 500 isn't good enough now, and it's not going to be good enough at the end of the season ultimately. So does this team have another gear with the way it's currently constructed, I think is the question that I'm grappling with right now, and I'm not so sure that this group does.
Well, and 6 of those games include Filip Chytil. And so that's a big part of this equation here is that was the best they could do, and they can't even, let's face it, we have to sort of come to the grips here that Filip Chytil's not going to be around for a long time. How long, we'll know soon, I would think. But it's going to be a while. And I'm not
sure they know, Blake.
They're severely under-equipped.
I'm not sure he knows.
No, true.
But Jeff is right. There's a glass half full. I mean, you're right around 500. Okay, that's not good enough, but you're 1 point out of a playoff spot. You've played your bulk of the games on the road, so you're going to get some home games here. The goaltending has been absolutely exceptional, and Thatcher Demko has been between the pipes, and you're getting more from Quinn Hughes. going forward, right? Like, so.
But that second period versus Dallas does not seem, repeatable right now.
Yep. Jeff, handicap the weekend for me because it's a big one for the Canucks with the Habs and Oilers here. And then, of course, Tuesday with JT Miller's return.
Yeah, I think the Habs are coming in. They're angry, right? They feel they got hosed by the officials. Power plays were 5-1 for Edmonton, and including 2 in the third period that the Oilers converted on. So what a crazy game. Montreal was down 3-1 midway through the hockey game and then up 5-3. And then the Oilers with their firepower. So the next 2 games, that was the scouting report, was last night. It was on the ice in Edmonton. Both those teams can score goals. They are scoring goals. It's always fun when Montreal comes to town. There's been a little bit of a dip, obviously, as they have sort of reworked and dare I say, rebuilt. But Cole Caulfield now has a share of the NHL goal-scoring lead. Nick Suzuki with a share of the assist lead. The Habs are the highest-scoring team by raw goals as we do this on Friday. That could change if a team has a big outburst on Friday night. But Montreal is right there among the highest-scoring teams in the National Hockey League, and most of it's 5-on-5. And then Ivan Demidov, our first look here in Vancouver at the fine Russian rookie, Lane Hudson, and Quinn Hughes sharing the same sheet of ice. That's going to be some fun to watch. So the Canucks are going to have their hands full. Again, these are the games that scare me for the Canucks because Montreal has the potential to score 5-6 goals. I don't think the Canucks have that firepower in them. And so the last thing they want to do is get into any sort of back and forth. And then that puts a ton of heat on the Canucks defending and the goaltending. We don't know which direction they're going to go. Do they come back with Demko? Or do they go with Lankinen on Saturday and leave arrested Demko for the Oilers? Pick your poison, I suppose. And then we've seen this in recent years as well, guys, that when the atmosphere, the Habs fans will be out in force. But in recent years, there's been a lot of orange and white and blue that has seeped into Rogers Arena whenever the Oilers come to town. We know that the Nation Network is guiding a tour of 60-some Oiler fans, so that tells you that they are able to get their hands on tickets. I know that that's sort of a storyline making the rounds right now is how many tickets are available for Vancouver Canuck games in the early going. But the Canucks want to get the fans back on their side. They're 1-1 in their 2 home games. We know that the home ice record was a massive failure on the ice and organizationally, and that's what you're selling to your fans. And maybe that's part of the reason here is that fans just don't feel they're getting their money's worth. It's an expensive investment of time and money, and there wasn't a huge return. I know you guys spent a fair bit of yesterday's show looking ahead to Tuesday. Canucks can't look ahead to JT Miller's return. That can't be on their mind, but that's going to be an emotional night as well. And so 3 games in 4 nights after coming off this road trip, it's a hellish part of their schedule. It is. Unfortunately, it's their reality. And so 4-4 right now through 8 is fine. But if they don't get results here on the weekend, all of a sudden they begin that uphill climb and chasing and those types of things. So there's some importance here to find a way to grind out at least one victory against 2 pretty good opponents.
Do you care the goaltending divisional labor? Do you care at this point? They're both formidable offenses. So
yeah, I think I'd probably give Demko the extra day of rest and let him go again. He was spectacular against the Oilers game 2 of the season. Kevin Lankinen, he's got to bounce back. It wasn't all on him in Pittsburgh, but he wasn't good enough. When you give up 5, there have to be a few more saves in there. But back-to-back, they're going to split them, and full day off on Friday after a lengthy road trip. That's not a surprise. And the 4 o'clock start, there will be no morning skate. So it may be until Saturday afternoon before we get a chance to catch up with Adam Foote and have him reveal his lineup. And, I haven't had a chance to talk to Adam Foote in a while here because they've been on the road, and we know that he did a handful of appearances, but it wasn't there after every practice. I want some updates. Do we know, is Philip Hedl in concussion protocol? The team hasn't said anything. I'm curious about that part of it. Derek Forbert's whereabouts went from playing the first 2 games to a maintenance day to now being out for 2 weeks. So Teddy Bluger, not sure what's going on there. So lots of ground to cover with the coach whenever we get that opportunity.
And of course,
wants answers.
Mancini available for Saturday theoretically, right? If he plays tonight.
Yeah, but is he available all weekend then? Are you going to ask a guy to play 3 games in 3 nights in 2 leagues?
No.
Probably not. So
maybe Sunday
you're right.
for him.
And then the other part there is, Lander, you want him playing hockey games. So it doesn't, yeah, fine, they brought him up, but it doesn't serve him particularly well to be sitting in the press box. So is it as simple as that's your swap? There's your roster spot. Get Abbotsford a top defender, and perhaps bring Victor Mancini back for one of the games here on the weekend. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts around this hockey club, and we'll see how things shake down over the next 48 hours.
J-Pat wants answers. J-Pat wants the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that Derek Forbert's on a maintenance fortnight, Jeff.
Okay.
Just that, though.
New term. It's coming to the NHL any day.
Well, that's in real time. That fortnight could turn into 2 fortnights, right?
That's
like,
right.
Until we see,
it could be a maintenance
until
month.
we see him again. This is an open-ended question and
Exactly.
investigation. And it's
Exactly.
not like the priority for me right now around this hockey team, but I want to know where Derek Forbert has gone.
Hey, Jeff, what I'll say, it's another 3-screen night in here tomorrow with the World Series game, the Lions game, and the Canucks game all going on at the same time. So plenty to fill your cup on the weekend in the world of sports and local sports at that. We'll be watching and listening to RinkWide. Jeff, thanks for this. Talk Monday.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about by the time Monday rolls around.